the way that those certain words impact you. When people say certain things, whether they mean it this way or that way, when you hear those words, they produce kind of like a squishing, not so great impact, like a bad impact. So this practice is coming to, like for myself, sometimes I hear those words repeated in my head later. And so it's sort of looking at those like not so great little voices. And it's a sensing practice of that. So taking a moment and thinking of, when you heard somebody tell you something that wasn't so great, that didn't, strike you as so great. A little bit hurtful feeling. And you can play with this different ways. You can try to remember that moment, that instance, and like really bring the clarity of that room to the surface. Really look around, smell around, see around that memory. Or you can just kind of raise the volume of that voice. Say a phrase or that phrase that like sort of play around with words to look for like the phrases that really like get you, That's sort of like, ooh, that hurt the way that's said. And turn the volume up on that voice, whether it's just sort of like in the now or in the past. Either way is fine. Just turning up the volume. Saying that phrase to yourself, or hearing that person say it, imagining them saying it. And then, so using that as like you can come back and refresh that memory however often you need in this practice, and modifying the practice to fit you. I'm going to continually refresh it for myself. So I'm refreshing it again. For me, I'm really imagining a particular person saying a thing. And then I bring my attention to my head. Again, not worrying about if it's past or present, but turning up the volume of that phrase, that person saying that phrase, or hearing that phrase. And then noticing when that is played, how do the sensations in my head feel? And you might notice other things like don't worry too much about the reason for the sensations. Just noticing, like, play the memory, play the phrase, and then notice whatever happens, whether it's directly related or not. Just notice. And then again, I'm refreshing, really clarifying those words. For me, it's helpful to really remember this person saying these things. And then coming to notice my chest area. The skin, sort of movement happening. The tension or lack of tension. Again, refreshing this phrase. And one thing that happens for me, it may be really different for you, or maybe you feel nothing at all. The goal is just to check. For me, I notice a downward quality, and Sometimes you might notice like things pushing towards you or away from you, or from your inside to the outside, or from the back towards the front. Sort of noticing direction in that way. Do you feel movement going upwards or downwards or all around? Whatever is there. Noticing, is there a direction, a directionality? And do you feel it in the center of your chest, or in the front, or the back, or the sides? And again, refreshing this phrase. And coming to explore your belly center region. The front belly and the back center. In the very middle of your belly waist area and the sides. Is there a direction, a texture, a color, a smell, a tension, a looseness? And in this practice, not needing to fix or change anything, but just, you're just coming to observe and recognize and honor by simply saying, I see you, to these different regions. And again, refreshing the memory, or refreshing the phrase that feels hurtful. And coming to check out your pelvic area, your butt and your hips and your groin, that whole pelvic bowl. When you refresh this saying, this phrase, and then come to check your sensations, whatever you notice, just notice. Is it opening or a closing? Like fast movement or slow movement? Frozenness? Numbness? Numbness being very particular. Like it's different to feel than to not be able to feel. And then again, refreshing the saying and coming to explore your legs. Do the muscles feel alive or awake or asleep? Or again, frozen or something else? Do your legs feel open or shut? And refreshing this phrase again. Saying the words fresh to yourself, or imagining this person saying them. And then coming to explore your arms and your shoulders and your hands in the same way. Maybe you don't notice much, and that's totally fine. The goal is to check. And then moving into this present and giving a thanks, or if that doesn't feel right, just again this sort of I see you to all these parts of yourself that you just were checking out. And coming to take a second and just notice the air right where you are right now, and this very much here and now. How is the air on your skin right now? Is it hot or cold, moist or dry? Do you feel it go in your mouth or your nose? Maybe just saying hello to this air also. And you might, as a nice sort of closing part, asking yourself if there's any, like if some part of you wants your hands to go there, like would it, playing with putting your hands on your chest or your belly or your head. Looking for just like a little ounce of comfort in the present moment, little ounce of support. And then offering like a goodbye sort of, again, a thank you or just a I see you, everybody. Thanks for practicing to all these parts of yourself, to this air around you.